So we're here.
We made
Made it.
it. Second line.
You gotta be kidding me.
That's easily the quickest we've ever done this.
That out of context is absolutely insane.
100%. So
Yeah.
it's fine.
Lasted as long as Carlton's hopes, I guess. Same as Port's, to be honest.
I was gonna say, I think there was a couple of teams that had their
Yeah,
hopes
but
very early this weekend. Three
ours
teams.
were gone after halftime,
That's true.
not inside the first quarter.
Yeah, that's true.
But regardless, quite frankly, I don't want to talk about football. So
Yeah.
I think we should talk about other things. So I thought we could talk about what's your favorite vegetable?
Look, personally, I'm a very big corn guy myself. Really like a good corn on the cob. What would your favorite vegetable be?
Potato.
It barely counts. I'm not gonna pay potato, to be honest with you.
It's a fucking vegetable.
I would have said potato. I'm not counting it. I'm sorry.
Well, you should have said fucking potato.
I'm not counting it. It's like saying like onion. I'm not counting onion either.
Onion's terrible.
Onion is great. I'm not copping that from
No,
anyone.
no, onion's fucking terrible.
Why are we actually
Why would
getting
you
into
eat
this?
something? Why would you eat something that makes you cry?
Why not? Tastes good. I don't know.
It's a filling.
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah,
good.
no, it's shit.
You're not gonna eat it raw. It adds a lot.
Sure, I don't care. The reason for the sunglasses as well, and the arguments and short tempers, apparently. I don't know if you guessed this, but after 61 episodes of doing this podcast, I'm severely hungover.
Out of the 61 episodes, let's say that N has been hungover for.
It's 59.
I was literally about to say.
Mine, I'm coming up on 60 next week.
Yeah, it's a big milestone. Big milestone ahead. But you have a very good reason this week. Obviously, it was Silly Saturday inbound. Would you like to? We haven't even done the intro song yet, but if if you'd like to indulge the viewers in who you went dressed up as to Silly Saturday.
I was Randy Orton, and I don't think Randy Orton himself has ever been that pissed in his life. But I tell you what, I RKO'd a few too many drinks, and I also RKO'd a couple of people roaming around, in particular, Sketch. I've got the things from Cat in the Hat, them as well.
Mm.
Doctor of Thugonomics got one. There was a few tables that were smashed, you could say, Darren.
And there it is, baby.
That's the play of the game. That is the play of the game.
The impossible angle, and he puts it through, and Portly.
Danger, 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 danger. Butler, 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 Butler. Get around him. Get around him.
Edge of the seat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 61, Glass Table. As you can tell, I've got glasses for Glass Table. It's funny as hell, I know, right? You're laughing and cheering and just shut up. Okay. But, I can't do this podcast without a beautiful, lovely, caring friend that is my best of them all, and it's the blinds behind Jared Thomas.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna do that as well because you made the same joke right before we started recording, everybody, just in case you weren't aware. And it landed.
I'm running the hits tonight, Jared, and don't even get me started on Onion.
It's very good to be here once again after the first week of finals, as we said. It's been a big weekend. Firstly, before I get into absolutely anything else, right? I find this hilarious in that leading up to the week of everything, to the weekend of of finals football. People were like, "This is going to be a fucking spectacular weekend. What a weekend of footy! Footy is going to be so back." Finals. I was doing it. You were doing it. Everyone in the world was fucking yeah. Finals footy, and there was approximately one good game, and it probably wasn't even that good for the whole thing. It was good for about a half and a bit, maybe. Wow, what a fucking letdown.
It was. It was. I mean, yeah, it was bad. I mean, yeah. Especially if your team's not playing finals, you're sitting there going, "I think I'm actually done with football now." Like
I was like, I'm pretty happy to be done, I think, to be honest. I was like, this is nothing now.
there was. I mean, the hype of the Hawks Dogs was, I think, lived up to in a
Fine.
sense.
Yeah, it was fine for about a half, and then it was exciting nonetheless, because, Hock Hall and whatever. But the actual game itself was pretty dead by, you know, the last, at least. Uh,
Ah, well, I mean, you can't pick and choose how the things go, I guess.
no, I know. But I had this thing of Saturday morning, I woke up and I was like, maybe today will be the difference. Maybe there's going to be one good day of footy that'll save this whole round. And then after Giants Sydney, I was like, here we go. Let's build into a fucking real strong thing. And then Brisbane kicked the first 10 of the game against Carlton. And I went, all right, never mind then. Actually, I lied. This all sucks. Everything sucks. And yeah, what a letdown.
I swear to God, I'm sick and tired of teams getting hot starts at the gather, whether it's Carlton or Brisbane. Just stop. All right. Play it evenly.
Just, I would
Make
love
it
it
fun.
even 4 quarters. I would love it even 4 quarters at the Gabba.
I don't need a half of football where one team's 40 points up and the other one comes back to win, or you give a 10 goal head start to Brisbane, or the prelim last year, Carlton had 5 goal head start. I just play fairly, you know? And the Giants, again, giving false hope to their fans, well, 17 of them. But, they get up so hope, they pump it up like they're going to finally beat Swans again. No, they just explode and um, that's it, really. Giants were a bit puny in the
Just
end.
a little bit. They weren't quite giant. Giant, not
They,
giant by name, not by nature.
they were 6 foot average height. They
They were relatively okay for a while, and then dropped off.
yeah. The Dogs once again have become the most hyped up, overrated team in the comp again. You know, and then Thursday night,
Here's the link to the review. We don't need to talk about that game because there is a video in length with a very. I mean, it's frank. It's an emotional Anthony. It's an Anthony that is sick of Port's shit, to be honest. And you should go and watch it because we won't talk about it here because we're not opening the wounds again.
I'm not opening shit for that club.
Oh,
Not even my bank account.
I was
Why
gonna
the
say,
fuck am I getting a membership renewal? I know they would have sent it out Monday. Some people were like, they wouldn't have sent it out the day before. And I'm
I
just
know.
on the day. And I'm sitting there going, I know how the fucking post works. Right? I'm not going to send Jared a present today and he's going to receive it tomorrow. What am I, stupid? God, some people, oh, I think the emotions are overcarrying from. This is a bit of an insight until the review would have.
Yes. Yes. So if you'd like to go and watch that, firstly watch all this first, then go on.
Yeah,
It'll probably be in the watch next thing anyway. So
yeah. If you get to the end of this, I'll put the link at the end.
yes.
Click on it.
Good idea.
But no, we should start with obviously talking about the weekend, and we've given a bit of a rundown. And I tell you what, if that was the rundown we gave, we won a finals. This would be the shortest episode we've ever done. But obviously, it did kick off Thursday night, and Thursday night footy was back, and I think there was no better place to kick it off than the Adelaide Oval.
Mhm.
The Terrace Apart was huge, 50,000 people. The hype was there. It was a really great first quarter. The Geelong
Yeah.
opened the first 10, and then Port came back. Horn Francis was lit up in in the 50, and everything was evenly poised. We got to 7 minutes into the second quarter, and everything was like Porter up by 4 points. This is going to end epically. And then from there,
Yep.
it's almost like you were watching a live event of Space Jam, and the players' talent, enthusiasm, and any bit of self awareness and care just left the Adelaide Oval, went to the bridge, and jumped into the Torrens.
Yep.
That was terrible. And Geelong ended up running away with it. And once again, proving the fact that no one can write them off in finals. And I'm bloody sick of it.
Yep. I like we said, we don't we again like we probably this is probably the one we touch on the least anyway, because obviously review and whatnot. And
It's also been 3 days since. So
yeah, so a lot of the details are hazy anyway. I don't
move
have
on.
don't have many things about it. You are right in that I am sick of Geelong being good. That's their 13th prelim final in 17 years, which is frankly fucking disgusting. Hate it every second of it that they are doing that, but that's fine. That annoys me for one. In terms of the actual game itself, like you said, it was obviously evenly poised for first sort of quarter and a half, and then I don't know what happened. I posted a tweet I think on the night where Geelong running towards goal was that fucking quick, and you would not think that they have like an average age of like 29 years old. Like you would not think that they are the oldest team in the comp because they are fucking moving down those wings. Like Max Holmes, Lawson Humphreys, those kind of guys are quick and were just flying down those wings. And it was tough to watch towards the end of that game. It was just like you said, it looked like Port just the enthusiasm. That was the main thing. I think they just went, nah, like they just kind of went, this is it, I suppose. And freaking, obviously you were at the game, but Jason Dunstall before the game on the pre-game thing was like when I was listening in the thing, it was like, oh, all Port have to do is stop the small forwards from getting out the back kind of thing. First goal, straight out of the back. I was like, okay. And then at halftime, they cut back to Jason Dunstall, and he's like, what the fuck? They have like one job. It was just the contrast was insane, and yeah, it was not a fun game to watch. I'll be honest.
You reckon?
Yeah,
Well, considering that I only got to see half the fucking ground,
probably a
I
good thing
think,
in the end.
yeah, there was more entertainment in the crowd. There was people getting riled up and fighting and shit. It was
So I think I
great.
saw that video of that fight in the crowd. Yep,
Yeah, that was right in front of me. Right in front of me.
right in front of me.
Yeah. So with the tears in my eyes. But anyway, hey, another chance.
Still another week, one more week.
I'm so excited.
Ah, you'll be fine.
It's going to be fantastic. But hey, you know what? It is what it is.
Can't do much
What do you
more.
expect from us, Jared?
Well, I expected better than that, but we'll see how you go. I mean, a chance to redeem. Hopefully, Butters is fine to play. Obviously, no Houston Farrell. I don't think is ready, but see how it goes. Hot ball. You beat them. It's like a big, the massive thing.
Yeah, if we win against Hockball, I think it's almost we're the most hated team in the comp.
Which you probably, honestly, if you do that, that might be better for you guys. You might want to take that kind of that moniker of, you know,
Monica.
Hawks are the big word for Elmo. Hawks are the big, the fan favorites at the minute. You beat them, you become the haters, and that tends to go well for a lot of the Geelong do it all the time, and they seem to fucking make finals all the time. So who knows?
Just on Butters, the collective, oh, fuck, from
Like
50,000
on the
people.
screen.
Oh my God, I've never heard it. Like everyone saw him, he's starting on the bench. We're like, okay, he's starting on the bench instead of Horn Francis for once, which was fucking stupid. But anyway, we won't get into that. Um, and the collective, oh no, when we saw that Butters was subbed out and Quinton Narca was the replacement. Fantastic. Just it was louder than
Like for
Neverton
like.
at the park. Yeah,
Like for like,
like
though.
for like. Just let me give you a list. Let me compare the pair.
Mhm.
Quinton Narkle, Francis Evans, Jed McEntee, just the three small forwards. along with Willie Rioli. We've also got DBJ, who's kicking boots, also went missing. Um, there's five or so. You're running with a very below par situation there, with small forwards and talent, really. Um, and then you compare it to, you mentioned the speed and pace. And I think Geelong's kids, we talk about how they're so old, but Jesus Christ, are they building a profile?
Holy fuck.
Max Holmes, Lawson Humphreys, Ollie Dempsey, like Tyson Stengel's still young. Like
Yeah. It's fucked.
pace,
It's
grind
disgusting.
Myers.
So quick. Like, so quick. Oh,
I'm I'm in awe of the fact that we've just underrated what their list management and talent has been able to do with that group of players. We know where Lawson Humphreys. Lawson Humphreys was effectively the situation of Asava Radigalia.
yeah. Yeah.
And I look at the two and compare the pair, and I know they're different players.
But the output.
The output was, well, I think I would take put away from Asava Radigalia and just put out next to his
Yep.
name. Same with Charlie Dixon, who, by the
I
way,
was gonna say.
the man is built like a brick shithouse, but plays like a fluffy cloud.
I was gonna say he moves like one. When he was
Moves. Good
moves like a
God.
shit house because he doesn't. I like every time I saw him go near the ball, I was like, you are like there people my favorite saying like ever, and like it's a classic one in local footy is get off the treadmill when someone is just cannot chase the ball or can't get there in time. There has never in the history of the AFL been more of a get off the treadmill performance than Charlie Dixon's on Thursday night. Now I know he's probably not fully fit, but if you were gonna throw an undercooked forward out there, put Todd Marshall out there. Do not put Charlie fucking Dixon out there who cannot move. One, you talk about the small forwards that were not exactly in full talent on the weekend for Port. Your tools weren't exactly giving you that much extra. Georgiades was good, or in the limited role, like the limited opportunity that he had, he was very good. But you look at Dixon, you look at Asama Radigalea, you look at these guys, and you were like, oh, there's a bit to be desired, just a little bit.
Dante Vizentini played better as a forward last week against Freo than both of Asava. I mean, Asava had some moments. I think it was in the second quarter. He had a great chase down, and his attack on the footy was really good. But as soon as the stuff in the air dried up, going forward, he was nowhere to be seen. Chuck him in the ruck. You're putting Dixon in the ruck, who can't move. Like, at what point do you sit there as Ken and the coaching staff like Dixon can't move? You got Blitzars on it, which is very good coaching from Scott,
Unreal. Cool. Yeah.
but he can't move. He's strong. Put him one out in the square. Play Horn Francis and Georgiades around him. Sava's the lead up. Like, I'm just fixing Port Adelaide's forward line right now. Like, and you mentioned Todd Marshall. He's a guarantee to come in next week. And I don't care what people say because you can't get worse than what the output was on Thursday night from what he'll put in Friday night against the Hawks.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. Like I just obviously there's nothing really to say. Dixon was like just it was a bad watch. Ken's coaching
Hmm.
didn't work out. Like there was a few obviously players that fired and stuff like that, but overall, you'd be very glad you finished second, obviously. Give yourself another chance. But yeah, it was a dire start to a pretty dire weekend for footy fans, for neutral footy fans all around. It was a pretty fucking dire start to the week.
Before we get into the next one, I do want to say one thing, and it affects me.
Mm.
And I think it's a little bit of biasness, but I feel sorry for Travis Boak. You always have players throughout each club. You've had your Robert Harvey at St Kilda. There's always been players throughout the years that have not left with at least one flag, and they definitely do deserve that. For this man to most likely walk away from his career without a premiership, obviously he has the opportunity to play on next year, and anything can happen, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to put a line through my own club this year. If they go on to win it, I will be shell shocked and would probably get a tattoo on my face if that happened. But um, for to know the feeling of that man who's near 400 games, given everything, captain, all Australian, everything, you can possibly list, bar a premiership player. It's heartbreaking. And I think, having one of the good guys of footy not walk away with a flag and seeing the output of that performance on Thursday night, you just can't. I can't comprehend the way that that like that in itself is a reason to be like, all right, we can do this. This man deserves it at the very least. You know, help a brother out, help 70,000 of us out.
I know. Yeah,
Uh,
I completely.
Basic motivation for a finals campaign. Do it for your veterans and do it for your fans. What else do you need?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Like you said it there. Obviously, there's it's happened throughout history. Robert Harvey, great example. Nathan Jones for the Demons. He's kind of he was that one that like was there just too late. Like he just wasn't quite in the team as they were getting good. Bob Murphy the same. These players that have happened all this kind of time and stuff like that. You know,
Don't mind me.
I was gonna say stretching the back out. Okay,
Oh, it's it.
okay, I was
Yeah,
giving you a hit.
I'm okay. Or half a Port Adelaide at the moment. But anyway,
But you're exactly right in that Travis Boak is, barring a very significant turnaround from both the coaches and the players this weekend and everything like that. He's obviously I think he's obviously played more than enough to be able to play on next year. Obviously, there's obviously still that chance, but you don't want to risk it with players like Boak with with your veterans. You don't want to risk it because one injury can that's the thing, like that one injury can stop it. So it is the basic things to you head into a final series being like you look at a player like Travis Boak and you say like he has put his fucking heart and soul into this football club. Why can't we do it for him, kind of thing? And that's what should motivate the likes of, and I don't want to point out Connor Rosie because I know his talent, but you say to a player like Connor Rosie, you're the captain, you're a young captain. If you can't do it for a former captain, a former like a superstar of this club, kind of thing, you need to step up a little bit and really start pulling your weight more so than anything. I don't know what else is going to help motivate you, to be honest.
yeah, you're spot on. And we just have to deal with that fact. So we will see what happens next week. But the thing that is happening at the moment is Wizards of Waverley Place
I
is
love it.
becoming. I'm almost hating the fact that we have to play Hawthorn because I love it because I get to go see Hockball.
Hockball
But
live.
I
Live
hate it
Hockball.
because I don't want to. I don't want to see him out. I want to see win the whole thing. Like this is. Yeah, full on, and it's unbelievable. The game. Obviously, they got the job done convincingly. 37 points in the end. The game was done in the third quarter. But sitting there, and you saw every opportunity they had throughout, especially that second quarter. The light up of the way and Kalshadir
Oh man.
made it. We talk Ginnivan, we talk the Wizard, we talk all of these players that we Weddle and the characteristics they all have. This kid has played for half a season and is unbelievably talented
So
and
good. Oh,
has balls, man. Like he flies for packs, stands up for your teammates. I oh, I think he might be the favorite of the lot. And I seriously think he's going to be a genuine star. And if he is doing that in a final series, good God, man, these Hawks.
yeah, I think the thing that I love the most about them, one, it's the fact that their young guys are just leading the charge, and like you can see it, like you see, it's all the young guys, it's the Ginnivans, the Watsons, the CJs, all these guys that are the younger guys that are leading like the celebration stuff like that. The thing I love the most about it all is they're getting the older guys to be involved as well. Your Sicilies, your Gunstons, your Bruce, these guys are getting around the celebration stuff too, which means that those young guys are driving the culture at Hawthorn. And they are still playing so well. There was every opportunity that on the weekend they shy away from their big boisterous attitude. It's like, oh, it's finals. We've got to be serious. We've got to really knuckle down kind of thing. But no, they said, fuck that. We got to where we are now because we're fun. We're a fun team to watch. We're a fun team to follow. We're going to play good football kind of thing. And they said, we're going to just go at it. Ginnivan does exactly what he wanted to do. And he went out the fucking Friday night before or whatever, or the Thursday night before, went to the pub. Those kinds of things. It's the fact that so many teams will shy away from their DNA, their culture when it comes to finals because they think they need to change something to take another step up above other teams. No, you don't. If you have won 16 of your last 19 games, whatever the fuck it was, if you have won that many games, you don't need to change anything at all. you will win games and you can win games. And they proved on the weekend. The Wizard goes out there and says, I'm just going to fucking play like I have for the whole back half of this year and dominate. It was so good. Like, and I'll admit, I will put my hand up and say halfway through the year, I was like, Nick Watson, why the fuck would you pick him in pick four? Like, I was very against that selection. Now I'm looking at it, I'm like, fuck, you could win him a flag. Like, I don't know. Like, I think if he gets him to the point that they're at now, and you said it, the likes of Cal Shadir, Jack Ginnivan, who doesn't just bring, talent, he's had a good year, brings so much like energy and voice and just everything to Hawthorn. The celebrations, you all know them. Like they bring so much and they're so fun. And you can tell they're all like really close mates. They just have a lot of fun. It's giving me like that Dogs year, the 2016 Dogs year. It's like the start of the Richmond years where everyone was just mates with each other. Like everyone loves each other and loves the culture that they have. It is beautiful. Happy Team and Hawthorn fucking oath because they go out and have fun. Like they just love footy, and I think that's why everyone loves them so much. Is you can tell they love footy, and like it's just God, it's a good watch, and they fucking pants the Dogs. Like just took away everything that the Dogs know and love. Their contested ball, like restricted libber. I'll come out and say it. Fucking absolute. My bold prediction of Bont having the best game of his career was the complete opposite. He might have had the worst game I've ever seen him play. These Hawks knew exactly what to do. Outcoached brilliantly by Sam Mitchell. Hawks went out there and did everything they needed to. They shut off all the Dogs' supply, did everything they could, and just dominated. And it was so good to watch. Hawk ball.
Hockball's here to stay for a while because the one thing that caught me, but not by surprise, like caught me, and I was like, oh, and it was a bit of a realization. It was post game, and it was Ginnivan and the Wizard were talking to, um, obviously, was it Abby Hahn? Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that was Abby
yeah,
Hahn
Abby did it. Yeah, yeah,
doing the interview, and Ginnivan said one thing that was captivating is like, we're all young, we're all coming through together. This is a group of 16 to 18 players that are bonded. They are leading the charge. They've all come through. They're all doing it together. This, we haven't won a flag yet, but it fucking scares me that they could be a dynasty team.
yeah.
Just, and not even like, I'm not even talking, we're talking about Nick Watson or and Jack Ginnivan and such. Like players like Connor McDonald, like
Yeah. Freak. Yeah.
Josh Weddle down back, Jack Scrimshaw.
Screwshot had
Just
a game of his life.
oh,
Game of his life.
unbelievable. Just like the way these players are just captivating every part of the game, like defensively, attacking, just every motion of part of their game. And football is extraordinary to watch. And I hate the fact that I'm playing them or playing them in the semi final because, yeah, they're scary. But the Dogs,
Yes.
right? You mentioned how they shut everything down. They could not activate their tallness as such. They like to play tall, and they've got a lot of tools around. I think Lob's game was pretty good. I think one kink in the chain for the Hawks is that long ball inside 50.
Yeah.
I don't think Charles contested work. He loves to fly 16,000 meters into the
Fucking
air
hell.
and
He's taken about
hopscotch over
17
Nick
almost
Watson.
mark of the year.
Yeah, but he's not a contested beast, which you can find them out. And obviously, Cal Shadir is a very, very good aerialist. Same thing. If you get this contested bodywork in, you can maneuver them. And I think that the defensive structure of the Dogs held up okay with a Lob. It was just the smalls and the out the back nature. And it's why the Dogs played so slowly, is because they couldn't get that motion movement with their tools. And players like Norton, Jamara had below par games. Sam Darcy was okay, but
Didn't get the footy near him that much, to be honest.
wasn't fantastic. Kicked a great goal out of the ruck though. He's going to be a star as well.
Oh yeah.
But these players were shut down and had no influence through the midfield, as you said. Tim English couldn't handle the ruck of Meek, who is just by far.
Hey, Meek.
I tell you what, it before this year, I thought he was just a Timu version of Brent Renouf. I thought he was actually below standard.
Yep.
But he is could be the best ruck in the comp.
I mean,
he destroyed Tim English.
He did. He smashed him. He's a very good pure ruckman in that he not only like he just wins the hitouts, but he like actually hits him to advantage. He hits him to good spots. Like he helps that Hawks midfield really gel as well as they do. Like you look at the likes of Warple and Newcomb, they're having career best years they're having really, really good back end of the year, especially. And that is a lot of it. It coincides exactly with Lloyd Meek's rise to becoming this actual really good ruckman. And like I'm a big, I'm a big, person that I don't really love the whole hit outside of things. Like I think it's kind of overrated. Like you could just be told, look at Riley O'Brien. But like I'm also willing to admit that if you get a very good tap ruckman, like a Lloyd Meek, a Brody Grundy, look back in the day, Dean Cox, these kind of guys, they can make a serious, serious impact. And it's not the amount, it's where and how they do them. Lloyd Meek has that in spades. He's very, very good at football. And yeah, like you said, murder Tim English, who couldn't handle the heat. Tim English had a pretty poor year by all his standards, by all standards, really. And that again just didn't follow up. And again, the Hawks midfielders getting first use, then cut out Libba, cut out Bont, cut out all these guys that usually are so prolific, so well structured that they just couldn't do anything about it. And like you said there, I think so much of this week, so many of the three big losses that happened, I think, were lost at the selection table in pretty much all forms of it. Port, obviously, we spoke about with sort of the Dixon thing and stuff like that. The Dogs went in way too tall in their backline, like you said. Hawks are known for their small ball. You need to sort of combat that in some way that's going to be a little bit better for you. We'll touch on the Brisbane Carlton one obviously later, but like a lot of these losses at the selection table, you can make changes that can do this kind of thing. Like obviously Liam Jones and Lob are very good at what they do, but they just went in just that little bit too tall and they needed to just kind of scale back something. And they didn't. And then the Hawks punished them for it by playing the footy that they know how to do.
Correct. Beautifully summed up.
Football, eh? Simple game when you write it down on paper and when it's very in hindsight, you can look at it and be like, that's easy. Like I could be a coach, but then you get into the thing, obviously. That's what we're saying as well. We know it's fucking the hardest job in the world in AFL coach, but when you look at it in hindsight, fucking piss easy. We got it. That's fine.
That's why we're on a podcast and have terrible bold predictions.
Yeah, all bad. Bad on the weekend. That's fine.
Dogs bad and bold predictions bad.
Dog's bad. It's back. Back to version 2, everybody.
The sequel's just as good as the original.
Can you believe they lost to West Coast? Over a year ago, they lost to West Coast at Marvel.
We really are bringing back the hits, aren't we? Yeah. I hope by now that everyone's realised after 61 episodes you're not following for decent football content.
Every now and then we say some good things.
And they're normally the ones we put in clips.
To make us look better. A lot of it is this, though. Dog's bad. Like, that's the majority of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subscribe to the pair. The next game we saw was the game of the week. And I think going by our previous 2 bold predictions, I'm so glad we didn't post the rest of the bold predictions because, my God, we were not only were they bold, but they were receding. Everything was going, and nothing worked. Like not even Ashley Martin are bringing back that boldness. So anyway, the Swans are into a prelim, and rightly so. If they didn't make a prelim after the year they've had, I think we'd all be questioning it, especially a home one. So. Very good to see that they came back after what was a very scary first half from the Giants.
Yep.
It just goes to show this game is for me twofold. One, it shows that this was an advertisement for New South Wales and where football is.
Absolutely.
It is a product that has so much potential, and to see it be loud and going mental and having a game like that advertises at the current moment, the showdown being the best rivalry in the comp. This rivalry,
pretty good.
Battle of the Bridge, is right up there battling it for near first place. It is sitting tightly second. Like it is in the DRS zone of coming into overtake because the way we see the off-field aspect, the social media and everything like that. It's very funny. It's so good. It's engaging, and it's really, really. I think it's professionally well done. Like,
yeah,
and we saw there was rules on the weekend as well. To see that, it was very, very good, and very, very enjoyable. So that, as a whole advertisement, showcases everything is working for New South Wales footy and everything. For this to be in a final as well, awesome. the second part of it is it shows to me that Isaac Heaney may be the most clutch performer in the comp. Now, he willed his side over the line. Mark of the year was taken. He kicked an unreal goal to put him level late in the game. His last, we've seen it before. The game against Collingwood where he stood up. So
Yeah.
Chad Warner as well. They Blood's culture. We talk about they made it been pumped before and everything like that, but that Blood's culture in finals is by far, I think, the best culture to have. That and Geelong. I think we're going to have a repeat of
I was
2022.
gonna say, are we getting
Like,
that grand final again?
I'm sick of these two teams just constantly be up there. It's
Those two and fucking
annoying.
Hawthorn can fuck off. I'm
Piss
sick.
off.
I'm
I've
sick
had
of
enough. I don't care. Oh, you've got money and you've got good players. Piss off.
it.
Give someone else a go.
It
Anyway, it
is.
was a good game of footy.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. You are exactly right. That game of footy, finally, we had a game that was finals worthy, I suppose. You are right in that Isaac Heaney, not even just the last quarter, his whole game was insane. That one-handed mark he took, like the quarter before, obviously the one that is getting all the attention, which is this by far mark of the year, by the way. Like I wish, like right now, the ones that are in contention, it's like, oh, they're all pretty similar. Like they're all pretty good kind of thing. You put this one amongst them, it's like, oh, it's that one, obviously. Like everyone knows it's fucking that one. And it opens up the whole thing of, oh, you should put it in for the finals, whatever. I don't care. I don't actually give a shit about that. I know in my mind that that mark is the greatest fucking mark I've seen. Unbelievable for one. And then he's just so good at football. Like the thing about the Swans that I love about them is that like every time there's a big game, a game they need to perform in, they do. The stars will always play well. Errol will do well, Chad will do well, Isaac will do well. Those guys will play really good football. And I said it before, like coming into finals, they stumbled a little bit last month. You're like, oh, I don't know how they're going to go, kind of thing. Like, who knows? If they lose the Giants, they could be in trouble. That win alone cements them as my premiership favorites. That win alone. The end of the year, I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I tipped the Giants because I was like, I don't fucking know who's going to win. I've seen that though, seeing what Heaney can do to just turn a game like that, seeing the likes of Warner, the likes of Golden, those guys, they're my premiership favorites. And it's them, it's fucking Geelong, which I fucking hate. I hate that it's the two of them. But Swans, that blood culture, it doesn't, it's not a thing that happens for no reason. We even said it in 2022 when they were in that grand final. Obviously, they lost it, but that wasn't going to be their year. We kind of had that feeling of they will be back and they'll be back soon. And here they are. They're back. And dangerous, dangerous, dangerous prospect, the Swans. And they're very, very good at football. Like, that was a good game. The Giants were very much on their A game as well. The Swans did their classic thing of start slow and then just fly home. And they did it. It worked for them during the year. It may as well work for them in the finals. Again, same as the Hawthorn thing. Just do what you did during the year. You'll be fine. And they did it. And a good game of footy. And I think the Giants are definitely not out of it. The Giants are definitely well within a hunt of being still up the pointy end of this year.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not writing him off at all. But it does, deviate the fact that they did lose. They lost while leading quite comfortably. And, they've come back a few times this year, but they also have lost games where they've been in front for a decent amount as well. So it is an issue, I think,
Yeah.
to look into for the Giants. But they're going to be around the mark and it sets up an unreal um, game coming up next week for them to play the Lions
Yeah.
at Giants Stadium. They may have to open up the top stand.
Oh, here we go.
Oh
Level 3 may be open
my!
for the first time ever.
But they're going to have to get new workers.
They've never had
I
enough
reckon.
security to go to that top level before.
No, they're going to have to post it on Seek. We are looking for security guards, workers to work the canteen. They actually might have to install the kitchens up there or something just to get everything going because I've never seen anything open up there before. So installations, they're going to have to you install at kitchens or whatever. They're going to have to run into there and concrete the walkways probably.
Do you reckon when they made the top four, they were like, fuck, we haven't done anything to this stadium and we're going to have to host like somebody?
Yeah, it's just sitting there going, you reckon our grand final, like prelim could be just at the G. Just
Just we'll do
knuckle
it. It's
down.
fine.
I
We'll be
reckon
right.
we could fill it.
Yeah, 100%. All
Yeah,
the fans, everyone in Melbourne would go to it anyway because they'd be like, "Fuck it, why not?"
yeah, absolutely. You got to wear orange as they advertised last year.
Exactly.
40,000 high vis workers. Roadwork signs are just outside with no workers. It's standard anyway, but
But yeah, no, that it's gonna be fun, and I think Giants vs Lions is a game that I'd never like really. You know those teams where you just don't picture them playing each other. You know what I'm talking about? Like you know when like you look at two teams against each other and
well,
you're like,
considering everyone plays each other once,
no,
no,
I
but
know, I get that, but like there's always two
in
teams
finals,
I look at it.
yes.
There's just two teams where I look at them. I'm like, you guys feel like you shouldn't play against each other, and I feel like it's because the Lions and the Giants would either be like a 1:30 Sunday game, or it'd be like one of the early Saturday games kind
And
of thing.
and it's always played at the Gabba.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
Yeah.
yeah,
So
okay.
like
I'm starting to feel you.
I never see them like I just don't pitch them play each other. So it's gonna be weird to me. But yeah, I'm very excited. It's gonna be a good game no matter what I think. Although we said that last week and fucking look how that weekend turned out.
Terrible. Football's terrible. The last game that occurred was Brisbane and Carlton, and this basically went to script, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I well like what we said that I think I said the Lions were probably gonna beat them pretty comfortably. I think I said about 5 goals, so fucking not bad.
Oh,
But
well done, bro. Great
to
stuff by you. Imagine
be
tipping,
fair though,
right? And
that's
sending a margin out and almost getting it right. Like that's just it's almost like it's part of football and a part of what you do. You just sit there and you give tips and yeah, nearly get it right. I mean, we've all been there before. Plenty of games of footy in the season, bro.
to be fair. This scoreline is very flattering to Carlton. Definitely shouldn't have been 5 goals. I should have been well off with this because, I mean, I don't blame the Lions either. They knew they had it wrapped up by halftime. They may as well have taken the foot off the gas. They're like, this is fine. Man, I mean, we were very generous when we said it was the last game of the round. It was the last, there was about a half of football played, I think, in total because man, it was bad. Even when it was like 7 goals, I was like, Carlton can do this. They did this earlier in the year. They'll be right. When it got to 10, I went, all right, they might maybe be a little bit of an issue right now. I was fully convinced they were going to get to the whole first half without scoring. I was sitting there like, this is going to happen. And then it just didn't. And I was like, oh, like they were very close though. It was bad. Bad football.
Yeah, look, there was a few people actually posting, and some Carlton fans, but some neutral as well. I saw, I was like, oh, but after Brisbane kicked the first 10 goals, it was like 71 to 39. And I'm sitting there going, that is the most fucking pointless stat ever. You know,
If my aunt had wheels, should be a bike. It's that. Like it's that
yeah,
fucking thing of if you want to win games of football, don't let the other team kick the first 10. That's probably the thing that gets written on the whiteboard before everything else is don't let other teams score lots. Because it makes it really hard to win when you let them do that.
right under that is bring socks, bring boots,
Don't let
bring
other
your
teams score
tackles,
lots.
don't let other teams score, rock up on time.
It's right up there with the essentials of football. It's right up there with the you score more than them, you win. It's like fucking hand in hand, right? So when you just see that happen, and then you're like, oh, at least they gave it a crack in the second half. Yeah, but like, game was over. Like, fucking hell.
It's an elimination final. It's not round 12.
No, that's the thing. Like, oh man, it was
Did
fucking.
you, did you, was it Matt Kennedy that got subbed out, I think?
Oh man, the filth on his face when he got subbed out.
I think it flew up a little bit later because he had a kid.
Had
And
a kid.
congratulations. Flew up, took his time, and then got subbed out for Tom de Koning, who was the sub originally. And I'm sitting there going, oh, to be honest, I was half baked by that point anyway. But I'm sitting there and I'm just like, Tom de Koning is sub. Are you? What's
Yeah,
wrong?
two things
I
wrong.
understand he's underdone and everything like that, but I mean to fuel the 71 to 39 after the first 10 factor, he was they looked a lot better
When he was on
with
the
it
field.
with a tool. So not only have you brought in Tom de Koning, no Charlie Curnow, and you're playing an underdone Harry Mackay in 28 degrees in Brisbane. You've then gone and subbed him on. You've brought off a bloke that took his time away from having a newborn to then be subbed and the filth, as you said, on his face. But the filth from the fans and just the filth from everyone, it's just absolutely disgusting. This, as you said, the scoreline was flattering, but the decision making and the structure of the whole Carlton situation is diabolical.
Well, yeah, and like it was what I said earlier before. Like a lot of these games, a lot of these blowouts that happened, were lost on the selection table, and this is exactly one of them. Firstly, the decision to make Tom DeConey the sub, horrendous. You
Is he the
start
tallest sub ever?
has to be close, right? Oh no, there's
It's just
sometimes
Shaki sub once.
yeah, Shaki's been a remember Shaki was a sub last year. He didn't get on the field. He was sitting on the bench.
He
So
still is.
yeah, he's still on the bench of the G. But they started talking about him as a sub. Bad idea in the first place. You need him to start. Pitnet was getting fucking murdered by Oscar McInerney for that first half. Um, then you sub out Matt Kennedy, who even if like they were playing Kennedy in the ruck, whatever kind of thing, you sub out a lot of players before you sub out Matt Kennedy. And I'm not just saying this as like a neutral fan. Carlton Twitter was hilarious on Saturday night. Very funny to read through. And the majority of the fans that I saw were fucking furious that they got rid of Matt Kennedy. And like so many were like, he should request a trade right now. Like that's fucking disgusting. Like why would the club do this to him? Like he looked filthy. And I was like, I would also be filthy if I left my newborn child to go and play 37 minutes in a fucking state, two states up and then sit on the bench for the rest of it. You sub out so many players before you sub out him. The three small forwards that Carlton were rocking on the weekend, obviously, was Motlop, Durden, and fucking
Fantasia.
Fantasia. Yeah, right. You sub out any of those three. Motlop was fine. Fantasia and Durden, though, just make the move. Like, do it. Just get rid of one of them. You don't get out Matt Kennedy. Matt Kennedy can play anywhere on the field. why? Why do they sub out? That's what I'm saying. You lose it on the selection table. I'm fine with them putting Harry McKay in. That's fine. The Doherty thing, he was still okay. Doherty, I thought he was going to be a lot more underdone than he was. He was actually all right. And yeah, that starting TDK as sub is if he's underdone, play him the first half, don't play him the second half. Like if he's really, really struggling, do the opposite. Don't sub him in when you're 10 goals down and hope for the best. Like that's not the way to go about it. And yeah, they lost it before the first bounce even happened, and then they just kicked fucking 400 goals. And what are we gonna do after that, really? Like nothing.
Yep, I got nothing
Just
more to add on that
bizarre.
because
This-
it's some of the decision making from Carlton in general in the second half of this year has been very, very questionable.
Yeah.
And I sit here and we will probably talk about more about Brisbane when we mention the other two games for this week. But I sit here as a person that's, we've seen a lot of Carlton. Carlton are very, they've been a publicised high profile factor in the finals premiership race for the last couple of years, and they've been, I think, I think they're the most overhyped club in the comp, and it's fueled from they get they've obviously got one of the biggest fan bases, and they get a lot of the attention. But the fact of the matter is, I sit here now and I look at the fact that they went on to a prelim last year and 5 goals up in the prelim. I sit here now and they'd get to the same point, same situation at the same place, and they're done within the first quarter. So it's like, did they overachieve last year? Are they really actually this? You know, have they been caught out, fulfilled? What is the story? Who knows? But if for that to occur, on the flip side, look at someone like Brisbane, who, by the way, could not hit a side of a barn if they
Fuck, they couldn't
absolutely
kick. That
tried.
run of three in like the third quarter, I think, where it was like Morris missed from the top of the goal square, Bailey missed his foot. It was bad. It was a bad run in that middle part of that, but yeah, they couldn't fucking kick themselves.
So, yeah, I don't take a lot from this game,
No,
considering,
no.
but I'm glad it was done.
Yes, I think you are right in that. I just think Carlton unfortunately got stuck in this thing where last year they overachieved. They made a prelim. This year they have severely underachieved. They probably should have swapped this. In all honesty, they should have gone the other way around. They should have lost elimination final last year, and then they would be in the prelim this year. That's what it should realistically be, and then next year would be that kind of thing. But this is a real like dampener on their momentum that they were kind of building. Like I was respecting their momentum that they were building over the last couple of years, like just missed finals, then they made the finals, then they made them again kind of thing. I was respecting that. But they fucked up the order of the last two. And now that like the injuries at the end of the year, like obviously they suck, but it also kind of exposed their depth. I said this last year in that Carlton's 1 through 20 players, like first player on the list to the 20th player on the list that they would name, kind of thing, are good, like solid 20-man squad. And then from there onwards, really bad. Like they had the biggest gap between starting talent to pretty dreadful, which is why their subs every week were bad, like bad football. They ended up like Lockie O'Brien was a sub most weeks last year. They delisted him straight away. Like they have not got the sort of bridging gap in between their top talent and then the rest kind of thing. And so when injuries like that occur that they have at the end of the year where Kerno can't play, DeConing can't play, Mackay can't play, all these things, when they get caught out, they really get caught out. And it's what eventually cost them an elimination final. And what now they're going to be coming out like shit. I don't know what to do.
It's a management thing, then, isn't it? It's just a full.
This man, yeah, yeah, yeah.
They didn't have a scenario planned, well,
For
a
the
plan for this scenario.
exactly, yeah.
So I I agree. I 100% on that. And look, I have the talent, so I think I'll back him in to go again next year. Although their list profile is a year older, and some of their stars are getting over um, that 30 mark. So we'll see how it pans out. But overall, just like Carlton's performance in the first half, finals week 1 was pretty shit.
Yep. Let's hope for a better finals week too, hey?
Which leads me into what we're going to talk about. So the fallout from week 1 goes into what is week 2, and that's the fact that we have a Friday night clash at the Adelaide Oval, Port Adelaide versus Hawthorn, which sucks. And we also see the Giants pay Brisbane at Giants Stadium, which is yeah, very very funny. And that'll be on the Saturday. And Saturday night football at Giant Stadium is going to be very very interesting. So to preview it, Friday night, just a tip and an overall thought for it. How does this one look to you?
This is the most unpredictable game of football I think I could possibly ever come across because everything in me screams Port like get overrun by this young Hawks fucking hungry outfit kind of thing. Everything in me screams that. However, the last time Port got fucking embarrassed at the Adelaide Oval, they came out the week after. Actually, they came out the next 9 weeks and were arguably the best team in the comp. So, and
Huh.
I saw this tweet on I think it might have even been Thursday night. Is that the thing to worry about with Port is they play their best fucking football when Ken Hinkley is under pressure. And let me tell you, he is under pressure this week. So I have no idea how to tip this. Um, but I think I'm going with Port in
Oh, you're an idiot.
in bizarre circumstances. I just I think they do selection better. I think Ken's under a lot of pressure, and for some reason he just manages to pull it out every single time. I'm gonna go with Port by 2 points.
Funny that well, the last time they did play, we obviously saw the DBJ soccer after being 40 points down.
That
So
ignited the Hawks to what they are. So yeah,
yeah, so we might as well start and finish the Hawthorn train, shouldn't we?
exactly. Spot on.
What my two? Um, we would. I mean, obviously, I haven't had time to properly think about this because normally I'll do my review and preview and stuff. But if I'm sitting here right now, the confidence in me from my football club is gone. It's shot. It's finished. I've seen this story before. We saw it last year. The Giants were in a similar momentum train, and everyone still thought that maybe Port had enough to stop it and kick 10 goals, 16, and couldn't hit the side of a barn themselves. So I sense the same story. I sense there's a lot of fallout from last week. But you are right. This football club seems to somehow give me the most depression and most excitement in my life. and we'll go from getting pumped like we did against Brisbane early in the year, and then come out and play the worst game of football against the Saints and somehow reignite our season. But unfortunately, this isn't the Saints this week. This is Hawthorn. This is Hawkball. This is something that is a momentum train that's very, very hard to stop. And if you don't catch it, you're going to be left behind. So I think, going by everything and all the evidence, the pros and cons, as you will, that I'll present to you for this.
Yes.
The pros for Port is they're at home. They can, but I know last week it didn't come out. Oh, we're playing at home. Geelong have, we know that, but the pressure of a big crowd, and if Port can get momentum, the Port fans are very, very vocal. And I know that even though we sit here and we're depressed and we voice our opinions and always so disappointed, we will turn up. I know we'll turn up. So there is that. The con is the fact they're playing the most informed team and probably the best team in the comp. The pro is you do have the cavalry to stand up, and you mentioned selection. Butters gets up, then they can turn it on. Pressure against them sucks, but they can turn it on. The con, well, I think is the fact that can you man the forward
That's what I was. Yeah.
that is Hawthorn's smalls.
Yeah.
We don't have a genuine small forward. You're going to be playing with the likes of Bergman, Burton, DBJ probably plays down back again. And you got a Lear, you've got Zerk Thatcher, and a couple of other Moors that will filter there. Burgoyne possibly. Can that stop a Watson, Ginnivan, McDonald? These players that are just all over you. That is the thing.
Yeah.
So, and there's countless amounts of others, pros and cons, probably more cons than pros. But hey, I sit here. No Sam Frost this week.
Yes.
Which means it's probably, if Dixon plays, it's a brief.
That probably allows Dixon to not play. I think you're good now.
Yeah, I think Todd Marshall's coming in. I'm using this tactic this week as reverse psychology.
I like it.
I said on the weekend that congrats on a prelim to Hawthorn. I amused myself.
Yep.
So I'm going to tip the Hawks.
Wink, wink.
Tip the Hawks by 11 points.
You should just say like 400. Just do the complete like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like it.
I'm tipping the Hawks by 11. Now, Paul won't get. I'll probably get pumped. But it is what it is. You got to deal with these things, and I think the Hawks will win.
You got a tick or something. something go wrong.
Itchy eye.
No, I think it's like I said, it's very unpredictable because I have no idea. I guess like we said last time these two teams played, it was the classic DBJ goal. Very unpredictable. Like you said there, I don't know if Port have enough to stop that small mosquito fleet of Hawks. Like we said, like they struggled with it against Geelong really, really badly. Who knows? I have no fucking idea. I've decided I'm giving up on pretending to know anything because I got fucking all of them wrong on the weekend. Actually, I got the Brisbane one right, but everything else I was wrong. So I'm like, I'm gonna stop pretending like I know the answers, and I'm just gonna let the teams do it. And who knows? Who the fuck knows? We'll find out Friday night.
I believe I have to go through fucking ticket tech again to
I was
fucking
gonna
tickets.
say.
If I end up buying tickets and they put me in the roof climb seat, I swear to God, I'm going to write a formal letter and a formal complaint.
Those fuckers at ticket tech.
Somehow I buy tickets and I'm doing the scoreboard duties on the night. Like, what the fuck?
You walk in and they hand you a water carrier's bib, and you're like, "Huh? What? What is
Yeah. Somehow I become an Adelaide Oval worker.
this?" Fuck ticket tech.
Anyway, there's another game on the weekend.
There is.
It's the Giants and Lions. So I'm sure that many people won't have too much of an issue getting tickets to this one.
No,
There's only 23,000 people that can go to this one.
And there aren't going to
So
be many that'll just make the trip. Um, Interesting game of football, this one. It's one to stew over, I suppose. I
Stew.
want to stew over, stewy stew over. I like
Ah,
I like both of these teams a lot. I think also actually, or just
you
on
can
the
only
line.
pick one.
I know, just on the lines quickly. They might have the most underrated player in the competition. Brandon Archie. I love Brandon Archie. Very
Brandon.
good. I said
Brandon.
Brandon the first time, and then I said Brandon the second time. Brandon Archie, I think, does not get anywhere
Isn't it
near enough
Callum?
work that he does. Huh?
Isn't it Callum?
Isn't it Brendan?
Brendan used to play for Port.
Then it's the other one. One of the Archies. That's how underrated. I got his name wrong. Callum Archie.
What? Bless you.
Yes. Anyway, Callum Archie. Think he's one of the most underrated players in the competition. Doesn't get everyone anywhere near enough attention. And then when I do get to watch Brisbane games, he's always like in their top five players, and I'm like, this is weird. So anyway, that's unrelated. This game is so interesting, and I have no fucking idea what Giants team comes out and what Brisbane team comes out. Because I don't like this sounds weird to say, but I don't think the Brisbane team that won on the weekend was actually that good. Obviously, they kicked the first 10 of the game.
No.
I think that was more Carlton being shit than Brisbane being good. So I think in this one, I'm backing in a few different things. I'm backing the fact that it's at home, the fact that I rate the Giants really, really highly still. They still played good football against the Swans. Yes, they gave up a lead, but they still played good. They were still in it up until a minute and a half left. Like Cal Ward kicked the goal to kind of settle them a little bit. Like they still can hold it. They have been proven to win close games as well. They've got the players who can do that. Both the Greens, Tom and Toby. Like these kind of guys can win games of football. I think just out of the engine room, like the likes of, like I said, Tom Green, Callahan, you get Keneally running through there, you have Whitfield, like you have these players that I think are really good. And I think the Giants are just a little bit too strong, especially at home. I know it's not that big of a deal for the Giants anyway to be at home, like considering like the crowd stuff and all that kind of thing. But I just think more around the ground. Like you look at their back line, they have a really strong back line. Sam Taylor, Jack Buckley, Peatling goes from there. He plays forward if he needs to. He plays on the wing, whatever the fuck. Like they've got a really strong midfield. Their forward line has the Coleman medalist in it. They got Brent Daniels. They have Toby Green, who was also the captain last year. I just think around the ground they're a little bit too strong. Brisbane are probably going to lose Jack Payne for this week. Maybe, maybe not. We'll sort of see how that turns out, which means they're down in that sort of key defensive stocks. I just think the Giants win by about 13. We'll say 13.
I'm the same, I think. And I really like the fact that we're going back to NG Stadium, I think, to play a final. I think a full house, well, we joke, they're going to have to open up the top level for the first time ever. But yeah, we sit there and I'm just like, I remember the Dogs prelim back
I was going
there.
to
Like,
say the Dogs prelim is
it
the
was
one.
an exciting day. So, and even like opening round this year, that's against the Collingwood side, that was exciting and I thought really enjoyable. So I'm looking forward to that. I completely agree. I don't think the Lions were their best side or best capabilities. I think they can do it, but what is in my mind is only a few weeks ago, the Giants went up to the Gabba and absolutely pretty much derailed anything Brisbane had in terms of form. So they had a great form line right until that point. And the Giants are, they're a nuisance like that. They can
They
ruin
do that
your,
all the time. Yeah, they do that shit all
yeah.
the time, the Giants.
They're a pesty side, the Giants, and I don't think they have um, a straight sets in them. I think Adam Kingsley, if it was to go out in straight sets, would be very very difficult to comprehend.
Yes.
So, and the Lions, I think, they've had a very interesting year. A poor start, great middle, interesting run home. Obviously, the Carlton win showcases at least a finals win for them this year. Some people are calling it the revenge tour, and I'm just sitting there going, let's see. This is a tough game. I'm not gonna say they're bad. I'm not gonna say that either of these teams are gonna. I think it's more GWS to lose,
Yes.
than Brisbane losing, considering the positions they've been in. So I am going to tip the Giants, and I'm going to tip them by 15 points. I think the likes of Hogan and Green get more involved this weekend as well, which To me, I look at it and go, we've just picked arguably one of the more exciting football weekends you will see, um, which means it's going to be totally wrong.
I was gonna say, which
And
means we did that last week, and fucking look where that got us. So, yeah,
I'm very interested to see both games, though. The Giants are the odds-on favourites, and so are the Hawks. $1.50 a piece on each of those ones, which I look at it and I go, load up on the pair.
got a fucking pair.
Come on the fucking pair.
I mean, it's probably good on like if you were gonna, back in that portrait. Like, I mean, backing in that's the thing. It's one of those rounds where you could pretty much coin flip and either team could win it. Obviously, that one, that you're sort of like the odds and stuff are sort of basing it off form and everything like that. And obviously, the Giants have a lot of luck in terms of they had that second chance, everything like that. Um, Another thing with the Giants, I think, just kind of puts them up there for me is that when they appear in finals, they tend to do pretty well. Like obviously, like you talked about, they made that prelim against the Dogs. Then obviously they made a grand final in 2019, and then obviously made a prelim again last year. Whenever they make finals, the Giants, they do them well, and they tend to always win at least one, a couple. So I like the Giants in finals. I think they play a good finals brand. Adam Kingsley's a great coach, great talent. We'll see. We'll see. Interesting. Both games. Finals football is back once again. So there we go.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, as am I. Once again.
Thank God I can have 5 days to myself, though, before anything occurs. Starting on Friday night again, I can relax and not rushed into anything.
No. You can drink whether in celebration or in defeat.
I'm not drinking next weekend.
After the game, maybe.
No,
No.
I'm done with alcohol.
The classic hungover move.
Like, I
will
look
never
at you.
drink again.
I'm probably going to stick to that,
That's fair.
at least for 5 days.
See, it's the classic. I will never drink again on a Monday at 12 p.m., but every other time I'll be there.
Just letting you know as well, looking at your fucking beanie has made me realize how much of a detriment I am to myself yesterday. And I hate every little bit of how I'm feeling right now. Thanks to you. Thanks for the reminder, champ.
It was a rude thing to say. I quite like this bean.
Looks cute on you. Just quickly, obviously, we've talked finals and that's all good. A bit of AFLW before we get into the rest of the show. Obviously, we haven't got long left. Don't worry, I'm not going to be here for an hour and 45 minutes. Because if I was here for an hour and 45 minutes, I would probably fall asleep and you'd be watching a live reenactment of me from about 12 to 4 p.m. this afternoon, I reckon.
Yep. Just TikTok on the phone, just playing in a constant loop.
I had the best time on TikTok. Like, I was absolutely enjoying myself. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Okay, AFLW, just quickly running through the results. The Pear Girls kicked it off on Friday afternoon or evening at the MCG, which was really, really good to see. I actually really enjoyed it being played on the MCG. And it got me thinking. Now, come back to this point, actually. I'll run through it quickly. So the Lions bet the D's by 3 goals. Essendon bet the Eagles by 16. Hawthorn pumped the Pies by 47. Richmond got the job done over GWS by 11. 1 point win to the Blues. A draw between North and Geelong. The Saints got the job done against the Swans, and then the Crows made a mockery of Freo over at Freo. Just back to the Port game, which, by the way, also I love how the South Australian teams both started and finished the round with keeping their opposition to 0 goals, 6. Yep. No goals, just 6 points, which was amazing. But the AFLW at the MCG, I think something needs to be looked into the fact that 16 players on each side on the big open ground. I know the scoring wasn't high because it was wet conditions and everything like that, but there was something a lot more fulfilling about watching AFLW side on the MCG on a big ground in general, and it looked more appealing. I don't know what it was. Like it's yeah, there was so much space, and you could utilize that. I know the skills and everything are still improving, but that's not my point. It's the point of there was so much opportunity to explore other avenues rather than we play all these semi-local grounds or at games like at Arden Street or at Freo or whatever the case may be, or at Alberton or whatever. It was something about it for me that allowed. I was more invested. I don't know what it was. It looked more appealing to me, and um, I know this everything's improving, but I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are, but I really enjoyed the fact that the AFLW was an actual stage, and I understand it was a curtain raiser to the Dogs Hawks final, but there's something enjoyable. I don't know. I think going to a curtain raiser before the actual game, and
Yeah,
you're with mates, and it's just like you start
classic.
investing in that game, and it's like you can attract fans like that, and it just makes me think that my point is basically the AFLW should become part of the season,
Yeah.
and then has curtain raisers. I know it takes away from the fact, but if you want to grow the game, I think there's an opportunity that way.
I think yeah, at least part of the season, kind of like they're doing this year with obviously the finals, but I think at least part of the season should carry over in between. Maybe not the entire thing, because obviously you want some weeks and some weeks of AFLW to sit on their own and stay on their own kind of thing. So like you could maybe have it like push it to the start of the year again kind of thing and have it like the end of the AFLW season into the start of the men's season kind of thing. I like the idea of curtain raisers. I also like I find it both ways in that I like the way I think it's a broadcast thing as well. Like watching the FLW with a MCG broadcast is really nice because obviously, like you said, they played a lot of local grounds where they're not always built for a broadcast. Moorabbin's pretty good. Like Moorabbin's not too bad with a broadcast. They got a pretty good setup, but a few grounds you're like just not great viewing wise. Fremantle's a bit like that. West Coast a bit like that. So like seeing a good broadcast and like I remember I go back to there was a game at Marvel Stadium a few years ago with Essendon where it was like a huge crowd as well at Marvel, and the broadcast was really good and it made it all feel really proper and good. So I really love when they play on the big grounds like that because the broadcast is nicer. In the flip side to that, obviously, if it's not a curtain raiser, they're not guaranteed to get the crowds that they do get. That's why I like it when they play at grounds like Moorabbin, where smaller grandstand, but they fill the grandstand, they fill the hill at the back. Like it's really nice. The atmosphere is really good, kind of thing. So like I find both ways really appealing in that. That's why I think you should do kind of like a half where you do a few curtain raises when you get the opportunity to utilize the curtain raises. Like I could imagine, like if the AFLW season starts before the men's season, you could imagine a Richmond Carlton curtain raiser women's before the Richmond Carlton men's start of the year game. Like that would be awesome. People would go to that. Like obviously it'd be like a Thursday usually, so it makes it really difficult. Like if the AFLW game starts at 5 or 4:30, whatever it is, it's very hard to get there. But like you could work that out. There would be ways you could work that kind of thing. So I think the idea of curtain raisers is really good. Don't play them there when there's no sort of curtain raisers. I think that makes it too hard. It just kind of makes it feel empty and small in terms of the G and Marvel and stuff like that. But when you can do curtain raisers, do it because it's also a big thing in that second half when, like you said, when the Dogs fans started to come into the ground and stuff like that, build a bit more atmosphere. People started to get really invested into it, and then they start knowing the names. They start wanting to care more about the game because they're seeing other players playing, and like little girls that are going to that know the men's team can also go and watch the women's before and be like, oh, like that's like that's what I want to do, kind of thing. So I love the idea of curtain raisers. I think if it's not played paired with the men's game, playing with the local grounds, like you said, but I like the look of it, like you said. I love the look of the broadcast, the way the ball was able to move. Obviously, it was wet, so it was a bit harder, but I liked everything about it. It was really nice.
Yeah, the camera angle for the hair and the Dogs game was almost of that of the early 2000s at the MCG when construction was going. So it was a little bit left
A little
to
bit lower, yeah, a little
how
bit
it
lower, a little bit
looked, a
left,
little
yeah.
bit lower, a little bit left, and yeah, it was something about it that really threw it back for me.
Quite appealing.
So I don't know, it was appealing to watch, but overall, the first couple of rounds of the AFLW has been really exciting, really good, and the clear favourite at the moment. It seems to be running through the fucking football club at the moment is Hockball. Hockball
Ball.
W and Hockball.
And the Saints playing good football too, everybody. So that's exciting as
Well,
well.
at least one team is.
The women's Saints playing very good football. They dispatched of Sydney today in a very, very wet and windy conditions. And we're sitting second, sitting pretty at
We're
second.
sitting sick than we played better. Julia Teagle should replace Charlie Dixon.
I was literally about to say, which tackle do you guys would you guys have wanted?
I
Either
don't. I'm going to be honest with you. Couldn't tell the difference, and neither could the commentator. But both. Fuck it.
okay.
Bring back Bryn as well.
Yeah. Very good. Good effort.
Anyway, that's good footy, good stuff. FLW is doing really, really nicely. Finals footy's in the air, and I think that just wraps it up, I reckon.
Not quite.
Wow, are we forgetting something?
Something yeah, like it's like a segment that I think like I don't know, like it just brings like a certain aura, like a certain like I don't know if you have the right word for it. Like I don't know, like it's something that's like
Super sexy.
I hope that looks so good when it comes through the Zoom call.
Is that what you're looking for, Jared?
Yeah, yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Okay. Hang on, I dropped my pen.
That's okay.
Super sexy. Go on, do your thing, Homer.
Stupid sexy AFL players.
Yeah, that's right. It's stupid sexy time, the 61st edition.
Correct.
Kind of, if you put it in age terms.
Interesting. Luke Bruce Darius, as we say.
Oh, I wouldn't put it fucking past you, would I? Anyway, do you have one this week?
I do have one this week. I'm going back to the players because you seem to not like my moments or my scorelines or things like that. So I'm going back.
Thank God.
I'm going back to the players. I don't know what
Okay.
it is. I don't know whether it's the way they're playing footy. I don't know whether it's the grand stage of the MCG. I don't know what it is. I can't quite put my finger on it. But there is just something about that man, Kalshadir, that just
Oh dear.
yeah, oh dear indeed. There was when he went up for a
Deary me.
massive fucking pack mark and just followed it all the way in and just took like clean as a whistle. I went, something about you. I like the way you do things, Kalsha. And weird name, admittedly, we were talking about this the other week. Weird name, by the way, Kalsha Deer. However, don't mind it. Like him a lot, in fact. Probably a little bit too much, but very super sexy.
Rate it.
Good pick.
That's
Yeah.
yeah.
Back on the board with a good pick.
Yeah. That's straight down the ground for four.
Yeah.
That's back in form, elbows high. You've just gone. See you later, boys.
Good
Taking the deer with me.
pick. I'll take
Some say when Jared. Okay. Some say that when Jared was watching Cowshed Deer the other night, it was almost like his eyes were like a deer in the headlights. Just.
I don't know if it came through on your side, but I mouthed deer in the headlights as you said it because I could fucking see the gears turning.
That way you're looking up, huh?
Yeah, I was like waiting to like peek when you were going to say it. I was like, anyway, who's yours this week?
I've done completely the opposite of you, and I've gone against the critics and gone for a moment.
You've got
But
by critics, you mean yourself. You're the biggest critic of these moments.
brother, let me tell you something. I'm the beat it. You put it in such a way where it's more to it than just this podcast. It's life. I am the biggest critic of myself. And I know, I understand. I say these words and I come out the next week and I flip them. But let me tell you this, in the contract that you signed to be on this bloody show is the fact that it says signed, sealed, and delivered by the owner of the organization, ThePear, Anthony Alessiani. So quite frankly, you can stick your nonsense up your ass and I'll go with my stupid sexy now. Thank you very much.
Please enlighten me.
I don't know, not as light as your deer in the headlights moment, Jesus Christ. Culture. That's so weird to say another accent, hey? Mine was something that I love cult heroes, right? I love moments and I love cult heroes. I love people that everyone rises to become a supporter of something in particular. We saw moments throughout the year, things like Jed McEntee getting his own little TikTok sound, which was fucking weird, but it happened. And everyone hates him at Port now, but I'm not. He's not my pick. It's blokes that are captivating, and we sit here and we watch them like, yeah, the fact is, the the people that get around a bloke is awesome. And the fact that so many people rocked up to the MCG with wizard hats on Friday night was unbelievable. The enjoyment I got from seeing so many people supporting supporting Nick Watson and just his ability to and captivate. And he didn't disappoint, obviously. So his performance was great. But to see so many people, and the Hawks culture is young and vibrant and modern, and what today's generation is. But it goes to show as well, supporters are of that generation, and there's so many people that are probably now new to following the AFL, and they're like, my favorite team's Hawthorn because they're so fun, and the social presence is great, and we know social presence goes a long way. So for there to be so many wizard hats, and then Kane Cornes wears a wizard hat on his show, and he gets his own wizard hat for Watson after the game as well. Good to grab, man. Beautiful. Barely saw. Wow.
Yeah, no, it was one of those ones where you see it happen, you're like, surely Hawthorn organized that. You're like, surely they went out and handed them out. And then I think Abby Holmes interviewed one of them at three-quarter time or half time. I think it was the end of half time, whatever it was. And the guy was just like, oh no, we just got like 25 hats and we just went, oh, fucking we'll make it. Like, he was just like, who thought it'd be pretty fun? I was like, that is that is good stuff.
That
And
is everything these days.
like he didn't even know, like the wizard didn't even know that this was the thing that was happening, and he just kind of looked over at one point and went, "What is that?" Like he was like, "What's
Yeah.
going on over there?" He doesn't know any of them. Like none of them know him. They're all just fans that are just like we just like him, and I'm like, that's great. Like it's one of those ones where sometimes the best PR, the best things that can be made from a team or from a league come from the fans themselves, and that is one
It's
of the
natural.
it's a natural thing. It's like this is a very weird example that I'm using as now, but Liverpool before one of their Champions League finals, Dua Lipa was performing and she performed One Kiss, right? And then Liverpool won that Champions League final. And so every fucking year afterwards, they sing One Kiss as like this thing because they associated it, and now it's become this whole new thing. That's what the Hawthorn fans are doing. They're like, fuck it, they're gonna call him the Wizard. We'll wear wizard hats. Like we will do this thing that the club doesn't ask us to do. We're just going to do it anyway, and it's very fun. It's very fun to watch, and it adds to Hockball. Adds to Hockball as a whole. In that, it's just fun, good vibes.
It is good vibes.
Yeah, I like it.
I can't wait to burn them all on Friday night.
I was going to say, I reckon it's going to be a bay at the Adelaide Oval. It's going to be full of wizard hats.
That or the burning sensation of people trying to kill Ken Hinkley.
The memberships being just
Well, this day and age, how can you burn your digital membership?
that's true. Actually, I actually have a physical card.
Delete.
I'm a big fan of the physical card, but now I think I only have it because I could throw it in the microwave at any at any given moment.
Yeah. Anyway,
Woody,
it's good, huh?
it's great.
I think we're done.
We're done until next week, where our bold predictions or our predictions are again wrong, and we again struggle to get through. Clark Kent takes off his glasses. The S appears on his chest.
I did that. There would be no more show. Nipples. Anyway, that is a great way to finish what's been a sensational episode. And it's now time for me to pop 4 Panadols and just simply go to bed. I'm going to go nights now.
Sleepy times for Anthony.
Yeah, hey, Anthony going to go beddy bay. Just like Carlton in the dog season. Good night, folks.